kill, kill, kill Spaniards and Italians. I like to kill, kill, kill Spaniards and Italians. Ahoy mateys, it be I, Captain Marianne Rackham, the most devilish pirate of the seas. Your dear land-loving Alison is gone, so I thought I would do the job of telling you about the history of us pirates. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that voice anymore. Anyway, I'm Marianne Rackham. Alison is busy, so I thought I would help her out. Again. Anyway, today, if you haven't gathered, we're talking about pirates. No, not those pirates. You're getting closer, but those were still highly romanticized. You're not even trying, are you? Yes, those pirates. Those pirates. There, yeah, that's good. First off, let's talk about how pirates came to be. Back in the late 1500s, England was at war with Spain. Now, the Queen at the time, Queen Elizabeth I, decided that she would give out letters of marque to sailors saying that they could loot ships from other countries. You know what? I really don't like Spain. Oh yeah? Well, what are you gonna do about it, Queenie? I know. Here. What's this? Oh, it's just a little note that says you can pillage and plunder other ships, as long as they're not English. The sailors that did this were called privateers. So really the only difference between pirates and privateers were that privateers were legally hired to kill people. One of the sailors that the Queen had hired was a man named Sir Francis Drake. He was also one of the very first privateers, as well as one of the last. He was so ruthless that he earned the nickname El Drake, or the Dragon. When he got back from his privateering trip in 1581, he was knighted and 15 years later died of sickness. After the war between England and Spain had ended, there was really no more use for privateers. So what were they supposed to do? Well, keep on pirating, of course! And that is where the pirates we know today come from. And it was called the Golden Age of Piracy, which lasted from about the 1650s to the 1730s. Now, what exactly did pirates do? Murder, rape, pillage, and plunder. Yeah, pirates were horrible people. So you must be thinking that pirates were ruthless killers with no laws. And that's where you'd be wrong. Pirates actually did have their own set of rules called the Pirates' Code of Conduct. Welcome aboard the Pilser. Now before we set sail, we have a few rules to go over. Every man shall have an equal vote in affairs of the moment. Every man shall be called fairly in turn by the list on board of prizes. None shall game for money, either with dice or cards. The lights and candles shall be put out by 8 at night. Each man shall keep his piece, cutlass, and pistols at all times clean and ready for action. No boy or woman shall be allowed amongst them. No man shall desert the ship or his quarters in the time of battle. None shall strike another on board ship, but every man's quarrel shall be ended on shore by pistol or sword in this manner. Every man who shall become a cripple or lose a limb in service shall have 800 pieces of 8 from the common stock, or for lesser herds proportionate. The captain and the quartermaster shall each receive 2 shares of a prize, the master gunner and boatswain 1½ shares, and all other officers 1 1/4, and private gentlemen of fortune 1 share each. The musicians shall have rest on the Sabbath day only by right, and on all other days by favor only. Failure to comply with any of these rules will result in either death or marooning. Looking over these rules actually make a lot of pirates seem like good people. I mean, when they destroyed slave ships, they let the slaves come aboard and be part of their crew. They weren't racist or homophobic, and there were plenty of black pirates out there as well as homosexual pirates. I mean, and they didn't judge you based on those things. They judged you by your skills and where your loyalties lied. And pirates were also some of the first people to use the democracy. They would vote, and every man's voice was heard. You know, maybe pirates weren't as horrible as... Yeah, never mind, pirates were horrible people. So what are some of the lasting effects that pirates had on the world? We all know how they affected modern day society. Today, pirates are seen as brave, noble people with strong moral code. Now, I'm not really sure how this idea came to be, but it might be because they were highly romanticized. I'm looking at you, Disney. But they were not nice people. And pirates have existed for ages. Not just during the 1600s and 1700s. I mean, there are still pirates out there today. Yeah, they're pretty kind of freaky. I would rather face a pirate from the golden age of piracy than those guys. They have friggin' machine guns. So let's talk about some famous pirates. The most famous being Edward Thatch, or Edward Teach, better known as Blackbeard. Yes, Blackbeard was a real pirate. I'm saying this because when I was younger, I thought he was a work of fiction. I thought pirates in general were works of fiction. I kind of wish they were, because pirates were horrible people. Anyway, he was one of the best pirates around, even though his career only lasted 2 years. And he was the definition of terror. He was 6 feet tall when the average man of the day was only about 5'6". One of Blackbeard's most distinguishable traits was that he would take long, burning fuses and stick them in his hat. This made him look even more scary and intimidating than he already was. He was also unpredictable. Just playing a friendly card game with him was facing death itself. Ole. You're bluffing. He's right. I totally was. Not only that, the way Blackbeard died was epic. On November 22nd, 1718, the military attacked his ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. It took 5 musket shots and 20 cutlass slashes to kill Blackbeard, the last slash cutting his head clean off. Now how epic is that? Now let's move on to William Kidd. I love this guy. I mean, sure, he was a horrible person like all pirates, but I mean, he was freaking awesome. Originally, he was hired to track down and capture pirates. But since he wasn't the most honest of men, he had hired former pirates and pirates who were still currently pirates to join his crew to do this. He was also ruthless and might lash out at even the smallest thing.
Captain Kidd, don't you think we should actually go out and hunt pirates? Don't tell me what to do! You know, actually, they kind of had a point. What say we quit this pirate hunting thing and just become pirates ourselves?
Man, these pirates need some serious anger management classes. I mean, come on. William Kidd was also the pirate who started the buried treasure rumor. Yeah, pirates didn't actually bury their treasure. On May 23rd, 1701, William Kidd was hanged. Lots of people from all over came, hoping that he would spill the secret of where he had buried his treasure. Sadly, he was drunk at the time. No one really knows if he actually did bury any treasure. I mean, if he did, you'd think we would have found something by now. And now, my dear friends, we move on to the 3 pirates that I am named after. Mary Read, Anne Bonny, and Calico Jack Rackham. Let's start with Anne Bonny. Now, Anne Bonny, who was born Anne Colmack, was the daughter of a wealthy plantation owner. She had eloped with a man named James Bonny when she met John Rackham. John Rackham was better known as Calico Jack because of the crazy colors he always wore. And she fell head over heels for him, but she was already married. What you gonna do? She's gonna run away with this guy too! She just decided to join Rackham on his pirating adventures, even though pirates were horrible people. After a few months of pirating, they attacked a Dutch merchant ship where they met a young man by the name of Mark Read. Now, Anne Bonny and Jack Rackham saw potential in this kid and said, "Hey, come on, join our crew." And he did. But shortly after this, Anne started to fall in love with him. Man, she really likes falling in love with random dudes. Anyway, Rackham becomes jealous and decides to put a stop to it.
Oi, Mark, stay the head away from my woman.
Or what?
Or I'll kill you.
Whoa, dude. I'm a chick. See? Now, the reason Mary Read was disguised as a boy was because she was raised as a boy. She was an illegitimate child, and when her late brother, a legitimate child, died, her mother disguised her as her brother to try and get more money from their family. In 1720, on October 22nd, the military attacks their ship, but only Anne and Mary fight back. The other pirates were all drunk. Eventually they were captured, despite fighting like demons straight from hell. In anger and frustration, Anne yells the infamous line to Rackham,
"If you had fought like a man, you wouldn't have to die like a dog."
The men are tried first and all of them hanged. But Anne and Mary have a hidden card up their sleeve. Anne Bonny and Mary Read, do you have any reasons for why you should not be hanged for your crimes? We plead our bellies. What? She means we're quick with child. Wait, I'm confused. We're pregnant, you dumb. Back then, it was illegal to kill a woman who was pregnant, so Anne and Mary were both sent back to jail until they had given birth. Now, Mary Read dies in jail on April 8th, most likely because of either fever or during childbirth. But no one really knows what happened to Anne Bonny because there are no records of her death. Some speculate that her father had used his wealth to pull little strings and help Anne escape. And pirates were horrible people. Sure, they might have had all the riches and women they wanted, but they killed people for it. They were ruthless murderers. So despite all the romanticization and all the riches and all that stuff, pirates were horrible people. But they were still friggin' awesome.